All right. Well, welcome to the podcast, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Means a lot. Why don't we get started? And why don't you just tell the audience what it is that you guys do for your business?
You want me to get started? All right. So what we do is we do life and financial protection. So that's a pretty broad range of options, everything from like whole life to final expense, or some would call that burial expense, or of course term policies, mortgage protection insurance, which anyone that buys a home, like in your arena and in the nation here, will be inundated with these fun little letters and colors and shapes and sizes that you can call in. But legitimately, people that respond to that with high intent want to protect that home, obviously, for their family. So that's a big part of our business, which opens a door for children's Head Start or Fast Start programs, which are, can generate college income and things of that nature that have been very popular. Index policies are pretty big these days. And then, tax-free retirement stuff is really where I'm kind of growing into, if you will. A lot of financial protection. We've got more retirees coming in on a daily basis right now with the baby boomers age, and that's probably going to expand over the next 10 years more than we have graduates of high school and college combined, I think. So about 10,000 almost daily. Really, the long and short of it, really all things life and financial protection. Amy, on the other hand, can do some of the health stuff. That's not my lane. You want to add to that?
No, I think we're good.
Okay,
we're good. Perfect.
Well, what was some of the health stuff? You said Amy does some of the health stuff. Is that
well,
what do you mean by that?
I have my health license, but I haven't really specialized in it. I normally will help him with anything he needs in the office and things like that at this point.
As far as health, it'd be like short and long-term disability. Really, we outsource a lot with partners because we're specializing in the life and financial side, and folks, this is pretty involved, work. So we have some friends and coworkers and partners that we outsource a lot of, like if you're looking for health insurance specifically, especially at certain ages, because there's some requirements there that just isn't my side of the expertise, and Amy helps me. We're pretty busy as we are on what we're doing.
Fair enough, and you can't do everything, right? You can't be a specialist in everything. That's why, I've even told you guys. Well, Amy, I'm not sure if you know this, but like I'm at least for right now, I'm strictly residential home sales, right? Like if you come to me with a big commercial building that has like 14 units, and there's Verizon and T-Mobile towers on top of it. Like, there's just a lot more that goes into commercials. So no, I share that sentiment with you guys. Just send someone to the specialist who specializes in those things and stay in your lane, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree. We want to give people the best care we can, and sometimes that means taking yourself out of that and handing it to the expert in that area, right?
Right. What was your business when you guys, like when you first started versus like now? Like how long have you guys been in the business? Give us a little history.
Well, maybe it's easier to start where we started, I guess, and then how we got to where we're at. A little background, if that's okay with you, since it's a kind of open format here, but and you can interrupt anytime you want, hon. But for me, I've done a little everything, personally. And I was a roofer right out of high school. I was attended SC4 and was accepted into the RN, or registered nurse program. So believe it or not, I thought I was going to be, always, vision myself in an ER or OR room or something like that, exciting, and the medical side. But as fate would have it, I decided to go to work at Mueller Brass Melton Metal for some years, which was supposed to be 1 year. It turned into about 3.5. And let's just say, you had to work 28 days in a row in that area just to get a weekend off. And
oh yeah,
it was pretty nuts. So just watching those men and women leave that type of atmosphere, like they had no life outside of work. I just didn't want that to be my story. But somebody offered me an opportunity in the pipe fitting world, so I tried my hand in that. And again, we had just met then. which will be 27 years here this coming July 26th. So yeah, I'm going back a little ways, but
No, hey,
you know,
I want to hear the whole story.
yeah, yeah, I know. You asked for it, so but yeah,
Oh,
I
boy.
ended up on the road doing that out of town. You know, that was feast or famine. It was 80 hours a week or layoff, and so somebody seen something in me that I certainly didn't in the form of sales. And it was really she that introduced me to the gentleman that introduced me to that in the form of car sales. I spent the last 20 years before this in that industry.
Well,
So,
I should add, since he started car sales, he was number one every month, every single month. And then he started doing managing and finance. But he was really good, not just really good, he was the best. So you should mention that part.
well, thank you.
He's
Maybe I'm
he's
trying to be
Yeah.
I'll be a little humble, a little modest, but you know, the truth is, it wasn't necessarily I had the best skill set or most charismatic, you know, person, but I would definitely outwork anybody around me. There's no doubt about that. And you know, one thing leads to another, and really, again, I believe that I built a good relationship and um, you know, reputation, if you will, which is hard to do in the car business, is as many of us know, but that was very financially rewarding, and I worked for some very good people and with some of the best people. Matter of fact, we are still very well covered in that arena. We have like four brother-in-laws, a nephew, a great friend, cousins, and beyond that we left the dealer world in good hands. But for me, and really, and for Amy, because she's really the one that, you know, I was blessed that she was able to raise the children. But, you know, as I got to say, I got to go to work. She never left. You know, she was always hands on at home, taking care of the home and the kids. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But it had its sacrifices. So I missed a lot, you know, of date nights, you know, with my wife. Anybody's familiar with the car business, it's 6 days a week, 60, 70 hours a week. And for like, almost 18 of those years, it's an hour each way for me.
And from what I've heard, like if the dealership's open, then you're at the dealership. Is that kind of correct? If you want to make,
Yes, yeah, especially pre-COVID, like it was you were going to be there, and really you had to be because that's you only made a living when you helped clients get what they needed. So, but yeah, missed a lot of date nights with my wife and dances with my daughter and games with my son, and I just was tired of sacrificing that time for money. And so to answer your question, finally, it's just under 5 years as far as a full-time, licensed agent doing what we do. And it's a business where we were able to evolve, our own brand, our own namesake, and really a reputation in the industry because of, good social outreach and hard work rather quickly. It's really an industry where you can go as quickly or slowly as you want because we're independent agents. So it allows us access to a lot of opportunities. And really, I think a couple life events, unfortunately, we lost her sister, my sister-in-law that we knew well, and way too young, with five young children, at least young in our minds, still in high school and college, and her father-in-law at only 60 years old here a couple years ago, and he and I were like best friends. So things like that, and you see the effect of not having certain things in place really pushed us to do this at a much higher level, and we're looking to grow from there.
would you
Not that,
add anything to that, Amy?
Well, I would say when we started about 5 years ago, the kids were just getting out of junior high school. They just graduated this year and last year. So I was kind of getting back into full-time work. So it kind of happened slowly at the same time, you know. So for me, it felt like I was transitioning back into full-time work, and it was really rewarding to see everyone that we helped. So I still feel like I'm nurturing as a mother, but it's clients, and I just feel good about that.
No, that's awesome to hear. I needed to clear my throat real quick. Sorry, it would have been super loud into the mic.
Mhm.
Um, I had a question, and I didn't want to interrupt you guys, and now I'm blanking on what the question was. Oh, how did you like come to the realization? You're in these sales roles. How did you come to the realization that you wanted to do your own thing and own your own thing?
well, the funny thing is the gentleman that really kind of that she introduced me to, that introduced me to sales. Again, I honestly didn't think I could do it. I didn't even know I liked people that much back then. Like I was kicking and screaming all the way when it came to sales, but I got laid off, you know. And so many years ago, he paged me. All right. I pulled over. There were still pay phones on the side road. It was like a Tuesday anyway. Anyway, fast forward, he introduced me to this industry as well. You know, he had been involved in finance heavily through college and beyond, and in the dealer world. And so it opened my eyes to the opportunity. And again, based on some things that in life events that we've seen unfold, it kind of, I guess parlayed with that a little bit. Just it became an interesting concept. And she had been licensed many years ago, before we got married and when we first met. And so the interest had been there, like in the background for some reason for some time. But I think, like many of us, COVID opened up some doors. So if it's done anything positive for anybody, it's given that opportunity to do something that for the last 200 years required you to knock on a door and hope they let you in at the kitchen table so you could present them, life protection options and so on. And all of a sudden Bob came in right when that was happening, right in the midst of all that. And I think the lure of that, although there's more work trying something new, more hours than you think I'm going to work from home and have all this flexibility, when truth is you have to buckle down and relearn something. But I didn't mind the challenge. I still don't. I'm still learning, and there's a lot in this industry to learn. But I think the lure of having the opportunity to be present at home, though, where I could actually have lunch with my family, and schedule life in and not just work, which we definitely like to do. I think really that's what grabbed hold of me. Now, obviously, I had to replace an income, and I think the other side
Right.
of that
Now
is
you're
it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I was just gonna say, and right now you're a business owner, so now it's I don't just show up, at 9 o'clock and I know what to do. No, it's 9 o'clock and now I gotta have to figure out what to do, and hopefully, most likely, you figured out what to do the night before, so that way you can just wake up and do the things that you need to do to get the job done, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And to add, I give long answers, by the way. So, but really to add to that is,
Podcast. I'm interviewing you guys about your business, so that's what we're here to do, right? So hey, as much info as you wanna give over about your business, your life, and here's the great thing. One of the bigger opportunities that I think that I enjoy about the podcast is people are going to get to know you guys, right? As people, as the business owners, right? A lot of people, they see your logo and stuff on Facebook, social media, they see the brand, but this is an opportunity for people to get to know you guys as individuals, right?
totally agree. And, we appreciate you having us. I mean, we've been forging a little relationship here in our business, development group there. And, knowing that you were kicking this off, like I wanted to get on the calendar. I think Amy and I should definitely be promoting our brand and what we do as a family business. It's not just us, it's the residual side of what we get to do. Again, I spent 20 years doing something that made me a decent living, and I'm happy and proud of it. But there's no passive income, you know what I mean? Like I can't build my other dreams based on that. I have to go there and continue to get it. And here now I own something, and instead of, just plugging in the clock, punching the clock every day, so to speak. So.
And while we were building the business the last 5 years, he didn't miss one game. We never missed anything for the kids. We were at every dance for my daughter, so that was important to me.
You see my equilibrium.
You said she's your equilibrium?
Yeah, I'm talking about work, and she goes right to the family dynamics, which is why we need each other.
Well, I mean, it's important, right? If you don't have balance, then, you're either going to regret your business, or you're going to not regret, but you might resent, the family obligations that you have because it's taken away from work. So no, I think it's very, very good of you guys that you guys seem to have separated the two and said, hey, when we're at work, we're going to work, and then we're going to dedicate the family time, because that's what's most important, right?
Absolutely.
That's why you work.
Right. What would you guys say are some of the bigger misconceptions, if any, about your industry?
You want to tackle that?
Well, I mean, one thing I would say is most people don't wake up, one day and say, I really want to be a life insurance agent because it doesn't sound very sexy, if you will. But it's a lot more rewarding, and we really don't do as much life insurance now. We help people with retirement funds, so a lot of and to get into that a little more, when you say financial protection, a lot of people don't know what that means. It's like when, let's say, you move a job and you have a 401k and you don't know what to do with it, we can help you roll that over and put you into something that you're comfortable with and just kind of help you plan what the next step is and how much you're going to need to have a comfortable retirement. And I feel like people don't really know what financial protection means when we say that we do life and financial protection. So,
And to add to that, I mean, it's intangible, right? It's like, I mean, when I was younger, like I was invincible. I've had a couple single young men yesterday as clients, and their parents are kind of like, they listen to this guy, and I love the sooner you can educate somebody in what we do, because the last thing you really want is a death policy, right? And when you're 25 years old and you just bought your first house, or but when you start thinking about down the future, if you're having a family, which is really when we got serious about it as well, but there's so many things it's evolved into. So these policies have, income replacement, living benefits, all these other things that if unless you get in front of somebody and educate them and as to what it really is and what it could do for you, not to mention, as she mentioned, you don't have the downside of investing directly into the stock market where you're never going to lose money. So you have that security on the investment side.
yeah.
And again, with so many retirees coming in, unfortunately, people are going to outlive their 401ks if they continue their lifestyle the way they are. So if they haven't had somebody talk to them about what their gap looks like between working years and retirement and how to not outlive that, then we're really not doing our job as to educating people how to secure that future and maybe their legacy for the next generation, which is just as big, I think.
What would you say is one of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to set some of this stuff up for whether it be retirement or whatever the case? What's a big mistake you see people make?
Avoiding it when you're younger. I mean, you can't buy age and health. I say it every single day. I mean, there's policies that I can educate 15-year-olds in now that have indexing options. We don't present that for the life benefit for the parents. It's just inherently part of the package, but it has all these other living benefits in it, and indexing, meaning the ability to create tax-free retirement funds. And let's face it, which direction are taxes going, Dave? You think they're going up in the future or down?
Up.
So wouldn't you rather tax you now and never again than to tax you later on your money that you put away? So there's all those elements there that we're trying to get that word out without being too pushy, and so having a platform like this that we can share obviously means a lot, because the sooner the better. That the biggest regret really, really is not starting that at an earlier age, quite honestly, or just not having anything at all for your family, because we didn't come up with a lot of money.
Yeah.
So even at an elevated, we still have people that don't think they can get approved. I work with almost 50 A-rated carriers. All right. I can assure you, you could have HIV or COPD or cancer right now, and we have at least some type of policy to make sure that if you pass away, if you have an elevated age or health issues, that your family don't go in debt. Because that was unfortunately what it looked like when someone passed in our family when I was younger.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything to add to that, Amy?
On the life side, I would say the biggest mistake is not thinking you need life insurance. And then when you do get sick, you call and the price is a lot more and you can't get as much as you really want. And those are the people that you wish you could help. And they know how important it is because they feel that feeling of, if I don't, if I'm not around, what can I do? And the people that are healthy, they don't have that urgency. And it's sad when you see it. And it happens to close friends. So, and you can't help them like they want, they're going to like, well, how much is $1 million policy? Because they know there's a possibility they might not be around much longer. And, we might be able to get you, 50 at the most. I mean, it depends on
Case
the
by case.
situation, but,
Yeah.
You really, it's all about health and age. And another thing is when people see the ads on TV or on their computer, they think insurance is like, oh, you can get it for $5 a month. And then it depends. If you're 18 years old and you have super preferred health, yes, possibly, but
Right.
not really.
Yeah, or your policy is going to be worth nothing because it gives you $500, at the end or
Yeah,
something. It's like
you really want to talk to
that's
someone
not
who's
worth.
educated.
Yeah.
Right. What would you say? Is there someone in your guys' life that has influenced either the way you run the business or the way you interact with clients or just the values that you hold when you're doing business, anything like that?
For me, I've been blessed since I met my wife. She kind of saved me from some of my environments, and not to talk bad about some of my friends when I was younger. Let's just say I had a less than, desirable influence, for the most part. But I think really the influence is who you surround yourself with. As they say, you're kind of the product of your five best people, and we've been blessed with some friends that have not only been friends but mentored us in certain areas. Whether it's life or business.
Mhm.
And to this day, seeking mentorship as often as possible. I have someone in this industry. I had someone in a previous industry, but it was something that I didn't know I was looking for or asking for it. It just developed that way. But now that you're more conscious, about that, and really what you fill your head with, as far as the information, my wife could speak better on that because I was always rolling my eyes at certain self-development opportunities and books, and we were always listening to it though on our walks, and I didn't realize how much I needed that. So just opening your mind up to making sure that you're surrounding yourself with the best quality people and the best quality information. For me.
Leroy said you could add to that, Amy. Can you add to that?
Yeah, I can. I would say Leroy is my mentor.
Well,
Fair
I
enough.
didn't see
Fair
that
enough.
coming, but well, she's been subconsciously filling my head with some positive information, it seems, over the years.
But he already has a positive outlook. Like he's brave. He'll start new things where I'm more reserved.
I was gonna say that not that you're reserved, but that I think Leroy, maybe you already had the right mindset and skill set going into it. Because I
Right.
do find people that already have the right mindset and understanding of what it takes and the attitude that you need to bring to the table. A lot of the times, they go, "Oh, that's fluff." Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fluff. I don't need the extra stuff, the mindset stuff. But when you get to a low point, that's when you need that extra motivation and encouragement. It's not for, some people do need it every day, but some people maybe like you, Leroy, you need to get a dose every once in a while.
Life will give you that when you need it or not. So it's how you handle it. And we've been given that, but we've been blessed as well. So we'll take all of it.
Right. And where do you guys see the business going, whether that be in a year, 5 years from now, 10 years? What does that look like for you guys?
Well, I feel like this is a shameless plug right now, but what the heck, I got the platform here. But the truth is, the industry is growing. Not only because of economic times. As we say, this is kind of insulated from the downturns in markets. We know when jobs leave town or they shrink in the economy, people or businesses shrink in the type of coverage that they offer people for employees anymore. So more people are looking to own not only their family's life protection, but again, as we've been mentioning, there's the financial protection side, or at least have multiple buckets to do so because, let's face it, most employers don't offer you the benefits that would save your family if you didn't make it home from work. With that said, we have more requests coming in to our type of industry than we have people doing it, so the truth is where I see it going is we're building a business, we're growing. There's an opportunity. It's the only true $1 trillion industry in the world. That there's room for everybody to get wealthy, quite honestly, and protect the people that need you. and it just some will, some won't. If it was easy, trust me, everybody would be doing it, right? Same as real estate. But really, we're looking for partners, business partners. If you're independent, you don't work for me, you don't punch a clock for me. It's part time, full time, whatever time I don't even know what the difference is some weeks, anymore with this remote capacity. But sounds cliched, but you truly will get out what you put in it. There's no caps on it. The more people you protect, you get rewarded directly from these Fortune 500 carriers. There's no middleman involved, so very transparent, very duplicatable, and in need of more people to do it, quite honestly. And so, where I see it going is, hopefully I have 100 more partners within the next, couple of years that are doing this with me that I can help mentor, train, and guide, and then continue to maintain my book of business and earn that. What I think everybody wants is that time, money, freedom, flexibility in life. Um,
And how
Another long
hard is
answer.
it to, I'm sorry, you said another long answer? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
No, hey, it's great information. It actually led me into a good question for you. How does someone, if they were interested in getting started in the industry, how does someone go about getting started? Is it a course? Do what's the case?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier than I would have thought. Like, I was super nervous about this process. I remember when Amy got licensed years ago, it was like a 2 week
Oh, I had a book this big. I'm
intensive,
not kidding. And I failed it a few times, I think.
So now
It was hard.
you literally, when we're done with this message here, like I've been pushing it out there in social media and been getting a lot more involved because I've been stubborn about it a little bit. So we're making this conscious effort. So again, I appreciate you having us on here because I think this supports us all, not only locally, but this is a national opportunity as well. But
So how do I start?
But so, yeah, right. We're gonna get there. But the truth is, just PM, message, call us, whatever. We're pretty accessible people all the time. However, you can get to us or any friends of ours that are on social media, but just reach out to us. I can send a corporate overview because we want to make sure that this resonates with you, that you feel like you're a good fit, and we feel like you're good partners. But truly, it's only a 20-hour pre-license course that people are finishing in like less than 6 hours. Like,
it's possible, but that's very rare.
I don't know how they do it. Like, I was so nervous about it. Like, I probably overstudied, but it's really easy to pass the state license, in my opinion. And listen, you can take it as many times as you want. Some of our top agency owners in our company took it 3 or 4 or 5 times, but the
rest is history.
The rest is easy after that. So there's
Right.
mentorship, training.
No testament to what your success is going to be based
Right.
on just a test, right? I imagine most of the learning probably comes after you pass your test. Fair enough. What would you guys say is the toughest lesson you've had to learn? And that could be in life or in business.
Reflect to you on that one.
I don't know. I mean,
the risk of unknown, like betting on going all in on yourself, like doing something like I couldn't back my way into this. I literally had to kind of like burn my ships behind me and go 100% because I don't believe you can do anything. Like, nobody measures you in this industry as far as I'm concerned. It's on your own, but I measure me. You know what I mean? I had already had a lifestyle and was used to an income and providing a certain level. And I didn't want to go backwards there, but I wanted to own my efforts and my time without somebody limiting me on any of the above. But the idea of going all in, even at my age, I always joke I'm like the old new guy, and not so new anymore. I guess I'm not that old, but going all in, betting on yourself, but having the support of your family and especially your wife, she's my ultimate cheerleader when it comes to that. Like, I don't ask a lot for certain things, but like I had to know that we would, she would be all right and we would be all right. But I bet on me. So far, I'm winning, but I'm at a point in my life where I want to share that opportunity with other people to tell. I've been on the stages now. I've had the opportunities. I've been at the top of the leaderboard for years now, but I want to share that opportunity with other people because I think it's fun to tell their story, not the same one all the time.
And where do you think that? Oh, sorry, Amy, go ahead.
No, I would agree. I think that was the most challenging thing, is to trust yourself and trust your partner.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, especially if you've never owned a business, and like you said, you decided to not just wean your way into it. You went 100% in.
Yeah, that's how I would do it. Again,
Fair enough. What are some things that you found that have helped you guys grow? Whether that be, a podcast you watch, an ebook, a CRM. Like, what's something that has helped you guys grow your business?
Say the self-development that we do. I really can't explain it, but we have conferences for work, and they are really big on self-development, which we never really did. I was always kind of a deep person where I felt like that was kind of important, but he was just like, you work through it and you can do anything you want. But putting that together is amazing. I mean, as soon as you can figure out being more, I guess, thoughtful and thinking about what you're doing, and then using your work ethic to move forward is something that I think really helped.
yeah, a challenge for me was like how I speak to myself in here. So you have to, that self development is huge. I'm pretty tough on myself, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of people are, and maybe to a detriment where it slows you down. And so I had to kind of get out of my own way. The beauty of what we do that I realized, which was a byproduct, like she said, nobody ever woke up wanting to be an insurance agent, but I'm at a point where I wish somebody would have invited me, like 25 years ago, because
Yeah.
when you deliver that policy to somebody, it's great, but when you made that first claim for that family, and unfortunately I've made 6, I just made a 6th one this year, not to be morbid, but when you're able to take the financial burden out of that grief, the worst time in their life, and give them an opportunity to heal quicker on that side and not worry about losing everything they've built, it becomes really real at that point. And so that rewarding, bittersweet side of that business. But again, it's if you're doing this right, then the emotional reward that you get is worth the sacrifice that you put in to get to a successful agent or agency.
So we read books every day to kind of make, we listen to some podcasts, every day we try to listen to something positive that's going to add joy and, help us to stay positive every day.
Affirmations,
things like that. We walk every morning together, and listen. And then we do go to conferences that are, I guess, I'm not sure exactly what you would call them, but they're self-development conferences. And since we've been doing that, like, you really don't know what you can accomplish, and even just how you feel about yourself and your life changes.
Well, definitely. We do them for real estate too, and
Yeah.
anytime I go to those conventions, I just come back like with a laser focus, right? And it's a lot of it is the mindset, but sometimes, maybe I just pick up on one little golden nugget that I can come back and implement into my business. And no, I'm on the same page. I definitely, anytime I can go to those events, it's huge value.
Invest in yourself.
and surround yourself with people that have done what you're trying to do. There's nothing wrong with that. They're going to pour into you at those opportunities, and I think you grow most from that.
Oh, definitely. So that's all the questions I got for you. Is there anything that you guys would like to share with the audience? Maybe something that I didn't have the opportunity to ask you guys, or just something you'd like the audience to know?
I would, continue just, everybody, I'm here for some reason or another. Again, I surrounded myself with great people in the dealer life and owners, and no regrets there at all. But, if you're like me and you're at your proverbial ceiling and you're looking for an opportunity and you're not sure if this is it, knowing that there's an opportunity and room to come here, I would just say again, reach out to us. We'll present the information to you, and give it an opportunity. If it's not this and you want advice as to how to protect your family better, being a local, agent and agency here, we want to have that conversation with you. Even if you have something old in place and you think it's adequate and you want a second set of eyes, I've been that for many people. If I can't improve your family situation for protection on any side of it, then I will tell you. I won't put you in a position to, our license dictates that we do the right thing every time by everybody. And, if we have that opportunity with anybody and you just want us to take a look, we would just ask for that opportunity for you because you never know.
Anything to add to that, Amy?
No, I think you handled that.
Hit it on the head.
Yeah.
She lets me do
All
the
right.
talking. She might remind me what I should have said later, but I guess
Fair
in the
enough.
end here, I want to thank you, David. Brown, I think, we've forged a little relationship here with you recently. I know you're a stand-up guy. I think you hold the floor well with us in our business group, and I know your head and heart's in the right place. And by giving us an opportunity to speak with you here and you interviewing us, helps your brand and ours, but also as a human, being that, I think we're grateful to have, like I said, surround ourselves with great people like yourself. So,
Well, now I'm blushing. Now I'm blushing, guys. Okay, this
Yeah,
is
I'll add to that.
embarrassing.
And I said the same thing about you, David. I totally right. I think it's great what you do for the business group. And I think it's awesome that you're doing this podcast. And I do believe that the more you give and the more you get. So I think that you're going to do well.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And yeah, I've always been a person that I get more out of helping others. Like I heard you guys kind of mention it a few times throughout our conversation of that internal reward of helping someone, right? So that's, the business group, real estate, the coaching that I do, whether it be for real estate agents or just business owners, that's my internal reward. Like, yeah, do I make a little bit of money off of it? I could probably make more if I was, not so concerned about the internal reward and making sure everybody gets the help they need. But that's just the type of person I am. So thanks for making me blush. I appreciate it. If you guys are looking for maybe an industry switch, you're just interested in maybe a different career, maybe just want some information about how to get into this industry, go ahead and hit up Leroy and Amy with the Dafoe Agency. I'm going to make sure that their information is in the description or the comments, so you guys have the information readily available for you guys to reach out to these guys. And same thing, if you need any financial advice, go ahead and reach out to the Dafoe Agency, and they will take care of you, guide you through, and answer any questions that you have. All right. Thanks for being on here, guys. I truly do appreciate it. And we'll catch everyone next time. Thank you.
thank you.